Welcome back to my channel. So today I have another Halloween tutorial for you guys. I am so excited for this one. I had so much fun creating this look. I just think it came out so cute. I love it. Kind of a little bit more like on the creepy side. My last three ones have been like cute and sexy. So I just wanted to do something a little bit different for you guys. And this is actually based off of the Bride of Frankenstein, and I kind of just like threw my own spin on things. I know, you know, typically she's not green, but if you look at like some of the cartoon ones, she's green. She kind of has like that green tinge like Frankenstein. So I just kind of did my own take on it, and this is what I came up with. I think it came out so cute, and I just popped on a black wig. This is kind of having like more Elvira vibes, but you get the point. If you guys are new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can stay connected and you can catch my next video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up because that always helps out. Otherwise, if you guys want to see how I get this Bride of Frankenstein look here, just keep on watching. Alright guys, so first off, I'm going in with my Sigma eyeshadow base primer, and this is in the shade Persuade. I'm just taking this to my entire lid area all the way up to the brow, and I just love this. It's so easy and convenient. You just like draw it on and then blend it all out, and it gives you a nice clean canvas. And then I'm going into the 35N palette by Morphe, and I'm taking this matte plum shade, and I'm just using this as my transition color. So I'm starting to dust this into my crease and just starting to map out the shape of this look. I really want it to be kind of elongated and kind of sharp and wing-like. And then I'm going into the Lunar Beauty palette, and I'm taking the shade Pageant Queen, which is a matte purple shade, and it's such a stunning color. So I'm just starting to deepen up the crease and outer corner and just really building up that purple. And then I'm going to go back into the Lunar Beauty palette, and I'm going to take Shady, which is a matte black shade, and really start deepening things up. So I'm trying to keep this a little bit lower down than I took those purples. And I'm taking it basically all the way from the inner to the outer corner and really winging this out. And so just take your time with black. You want to use a little bit at a time and just slowly build that color and make sure everything is nice and blended. And then once I'm satisfied with the intensity, I'm going into my Makeup Forever Flash palette, and I'm taking the black cream shade, and I'm putting just a little bit of this on the lid, and then I'm going to kind of tap that out with my finger. This is just going to serve as a base for my next eyeshadow. And then you want to blend out those edges as well, just because it is a cream paint. You want to make sure that nothing is like harsh, and so I go back in with a little bit of black just to make sure that those edges are nice and soft. And I also lightly set that lid just to make sure everything is nice and locked down. And then I took the Anastasia Norvina palette. I'm taking this shade called Soul, which is like a nice lilac color, and I'm dusting this above like that first transition color that I used, just because it kind of blended out and turned a little bit pink. And this one is more cool toned. It's just going to bring back those purples. And now I'm going in with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance Glitter Primer, and I'm just packing this on my lid before I go in with this next shade from the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie palette. This is in the shade Game Over, and this color is absolutely stunning. It is a black shade that has like shimmer in it, and it is just so beautiful. And just because it does have so much reflex, I use that glitter glue just to help pack that on, and then you just want to softly blend out those edges. And then I'm going to move on to the face for now. I'm using the Too Faced Hangover RX primer. I absolutely love this. It is so moisturizing. And then I'm going to go in with the Dermalogica Hydra Blur primer, and this is just basically going to help to smooth out any of my pores and texture, because we are going to go in with like face paints. And then I'm taking the NYX, what is this, Wonder Pencil, and I'm just using this to start mapping out the shape that I want, because I'm going to keep the center of my face green, almost like a mask. And so I'm just trying to even out both sides. And then I'm going to go in with my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Stromboli, and I'm just putting that just below the lines because I want this to look like my natural skin and almost to look like I have a mask basically stitched onto my face. And then for the center part, I'm mixing the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation in Swan, which is very light, with some of the white and green cream paints from the Makeup Forever Flash palette, and it created such a perfect shade for this. I just wanted like a light hint of green, and then we're going to go in and do some more shading and like contouring. So I'm basically just putting this on my face and then blending that out with my Morphe sponge. You just want to make sure you have like a nice even canvas, and I feel like mixing the cream paints with the foundation just really makes it a lot easier to get like a smooth, even canvas. I feel like the cream paints can sometimes be hard to work with on their own. And then I just took a little brush to kind of go in around my eyeshadow, that way I didn't mess anything up. And next I'm going on to brows. I'm taking the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Dark Brown, and I basically just started filling in my eyebrows like I normally would, but then I realized this wasn't dark enough. I really wanted it to be a lot darker because I'm going to put on a black wig. So I went in with the the Duo Brow Powder by Anastasia in the shade Granite, and basically used the deepest shade to really deepen those up and really made my brows kind of harsh. And then went in with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel just to set everything in place and make sure everything is locked in. As you can see, that just deepened things up. And then I'm going back into the Makeup Forever Flash palette, and I'm taking the white cream paint, and I'm really just starting to highlight the center parts of my face. So under the eyes, the center of the forehead, center of the chin, and around the nose. And then I just blend that out with my beauty sponge. Basically, it's kind of like you were doing your makeup, you know, like this is kind of like concealer. And so you just want to start bringing some dimension back to the face. And then I'm setting all of that with the white eyeshadow from the Lunar Beauty palette, I believe is called Cake Face, and just pushing that into the cream paint because the cream paint will crease like crazy. So I'm just locking all of that in, and then I created like this green shade. I mixed a little bit of the green from the Flash palette with the white, and it created like this nice lime green, and I'm starting to stipple this into my skin. And basically on the outer portions of my cheekbones, the chin, and you really want to keep that like along the edges of the mask, and then kind of going in around the temples and forehead. It's almost kind of like this was your bronzer. You're basically using this in the same areas where you would bronze up your skin. And I also wanted to contour the nose, that way everything is just nice and tied together. And so I'm just kind of taking that down the sides of the bridge of the nose and the tip of the nose, and then we'll go in and blend everything out. I go back in with my sponge. I used a little bit more of like the white paint just to kind of blend everything out, make sure nothing was too harsh. And next I'm taking this olive green shade called Potion. This is from the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe Dark Magic palette. I just really wanted to deepen up those contours, so I'm taking that on the cream paint, really keeping this like on the outer edges and just starting to deepen things up. And this will also help to set that cream paint in place and just give it some more dimension, because that cream paint was a little bit more lime green and this is like deeper in tone. And now I'm going in with this shade called Campy from the Lunar Beauty palette, which is a matte yellow. And I'm starting to use this just above the green. And again, this is just going to bring some more character and dimension to the look. And so I'm just kind of placing that on certain areas just to enhance my features. So really trying to kind of round out the cheekbones, putting a little bit on the chin as well. And just kind of blending that into the green and just playing with it, you know, just wherever I felt I needed a little bit more color, I just put some of that yellow shadow down, and I just feel like it gave it so much life. And I took a little bit on the nose as well. I feel like this look is just really starting to come together, and I love the way that it enhanced the green. Quickly, I'm going to go in and do the lower lash line. I'm using the same shades that we used on the lid. So I'm going in with Soul from Anastasia, and then Pageant Queen from the Lunar Beauty palette, which was that matte purple. And then I'm going to go in with Shady, which is the matte black, and I'm taking that on a flat definer brush and just really defining the lower lash line. And I go back in and make sure everything is nice and blended out. And next I'm going into the Mayron Paradise paints. I'm taking this red water activated paint and I'm starting to trace this just along the edge of our little mask. Basically this is going to be like your cut or your incision. So I just traced that as evenly as I could, and then I'm going to go in with a little bit of black just to kind of give this some more depth and make it look as if it's a little bit deeper. And so I just put a little bit of black detailing right to the center of that red line just to give it some more dimension dimension. And then what I'm going to do is go in with a little bit of white cream paint just to kind of give it some highlights on the outer edge of that line as well as the inner edge. And this is just going to create more of like a three-dimensional effect and make your skin almost look lifted at those edges. That way, you know, the red line looks deeper and more of an actual cut. And then I'm going to go in with the black water activated paint from Mayron and start creating some stitches. So I just created like some lines. I did some of them like X's. Just take your time with this. There's no rhyme or reason. I just kind of did what I thought looked good. And we will go in and do some more detailing. So I mixed the red and black water activated paint. And I'm taking this on like a little, I don't even know what this is. I think it's like a nail tool. And so I'm just creating little dots at the edge of each end of the stitch. And basically that's like the illusion of where the stitch is supposed to go into your skin. And I'm going to do some more highlighting and shading. So I'm taking a little bit of white cream paint and just kind of putting that around each dot. And again, this is just going to make your skin kind of look like lifted. That way it looks like, you know, this stitch is actually going into your skin. So I just took my time, you know, kind of playing with this. I think the more you do, the more character it gives them. And then I'm going in with the white cream paint from the Flash palette and just putting a little bit of detailing on each of the stitches. So just a little bit of like lines right in the center of the black stitch just to kind of give it like a highlight. And it also gives this more of like a three-dimensional appearance. And so just take your time, kind of play with it, and you know, it'll all come together. And then I'm going into the Anastasia Moonchild Glow Kit, and I'm taking the shade Lucky Clover, which is like a greenish highlight, and I'm just popping that on the high points of my cheekbones, my cupid's bow, chin, tip of the nose, and bridge of the nose. I need me some glow, even though I am, you know, this Bride of Frankenstein. So I just love the way that it looked. And then I'm going in with lashes, and I'm using Fabiola lashes in this style Fabiola. These are one of my all-time favorites. And then going into the Marc Jacobs eyeliner in the shade Deja Blue, I'm popping that into my lower waterline. And then I'm taking this shade called Thrash from the Urban Decay Electric palette, which is like a neon yellow shade. And I'm just setting that eyeliner. So I'm kind of packing it on. And then I'm going to take a little bit of white cream paint just to my tear duct area. And this is just going to be my base before I go back into that Thrash eyeshadow. And I'm popping that on. And this is just going to really open up the eyes. I loved like the neon highlight that it gave, and I just thought it looked so cool. And now moving on to lips, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia lip palette first, and I'm taking the black shade, and I couldn't decide whether I wanted a purple lip or a black lip, so I decided to do kind of like an ombre, and I started to line the outer portion of my lips with the black, and then I will take a purple to the center of the lips, and we'll kind of like marry the two colors together. I'm using the Too Faced Melted Metallic Liquid Lip in the shade Scream My Name, and I took that to the center of the lip, and I thought this purple was so perfect, and it had like a nice sheen to it because it is a metallic shade. And then I go back in with a little lip brush and just kind of blend the two together. You might go back and forth between each shade just to make sure everything is nice and blended and fades from one color to the next seamlessly.